Hello and welcome to another Victoria 3 developer diary. This time we're going to be pleasing all of those vexicologists who are quite prevalent in the Paradox community, and we're going to be talking about flags. First though, let us have a look at the Twitter teaser. I know I haven't done quite as much due diligence as I need to have done in the past with showing off the Twitter teaser before the dev diary. But this one is going in, because it's relevant, it's interesting, and it's this. Pacha! Tomorrow's dev diary is going to be about flags. As a teaser, below you can see a flag of the glorious British Republic in its full glory. Maybe our dear modders would like to have some fun with flags as well. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to point out about this. One, the idea of a British Republic is sickening to me as a monarchist. It's very, very horrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. Second thing, this flag that is shown here, we've got the England, Scotland, and Ireland, the three kingdoms that make up the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, or I guess Great Britain and Ireland at this time. Well, obviously it's got Wales missing, because even though they've become a republic, which is on the surface supposed to be all about representation, Wales still doesn't get represented. But also that it's about infinite amount of times better than the British Republic flag in EU4, which is just god-awful and disgusting and pure filth. It's got purple in it. You don't put purple in a flag. Purple doesn't belong in a flag. But whatever. Yeah, tricolours in general I find pretty boring as flags, but I quite like this flag. Even though England does get represented twice for reasons. Yeah, I like it. I like the flag. The idea of a British Republic, big hate energy. Big hate energy. It's also interesting because this does essentially prove the point that flags will be changing in Victoria 3 depending on your situation. Flags did indeed change depending on the situation in Victoria 2 as well. The German Empire's flag was different from the German Republic's flag, which was different from the German Communist flag, which was different from the German Fascist flag. Like every single country in the game, give or take, I'm pretty sure it was every relevant country. Like, I'm not going to flat out say it was absolutely every single one of them, because I can't say that with absolute certainty, but the vast majority of countries in Victoria 2 had like 5 flags associated with them, one for each of the major ideologies: monarchist, fascist, communist, democratic, probably another one that I'm forgetting there, but you know what, you get the gist. But yeah, awesome stuff. And with the British Republic safely put behind us, let's have a look at flags. Because flags are nice. Also, actually, before we go any further at all, if I can remember what button it is to, that's not the button at all. There it is. The background art for today is awesome. Is actually beautiful. I always love to look at the loading screens, and apologize for not showing that off first. Yeah, it looks like there's a rebellion going on, and just from the mere fact that it's a rebellion, you can probably guess that it's potentially France. They do like a good rebellion after all. But yeah, awesome stuff. Loving the loading screens, as always. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, flags. Flags are cool, and let's have a look at what we have to say about them. Hi folks, welcome to another dev diary, and get hyped for what I know you're looking for: flags. I'm Offaloof, one of the designers of the game, and somehow they let me write a dev diary. Let's go. Let's start at the beginning. What is a flag? This is an American flag. I believe Offaloof is American, so that would track. I have no idea which state's flag this is. And the reason I say it's probably American is because each state has a flag. They're often very bad, which I would argue that this one is a pretty bad flag. And also, E pluribus unum is, or was, like the motto of the USA, means out of many, one. And then that used to be on the money as well. But yeah, I don't know what state this is, but it's circumspice, It's Sure. But yeah, flags. This guy clearly likes flags because he has one. A flag is a decorative design on a bit of fabric, often used to communicate something, such as a message or identity to the viewer. In Victoria 3, all flags are associated with countries. They're neat designs that serve as visual shorthand for a state, and they just look pretty too, most of the time. Not all the time. Most of the time. And I also have no idea what flag this is. Having a guess, Orange Free State is my guess. I'm going to guess this is the Orange Free State. I might be wrong, but this is my guess. .png. Yeah, no, flags are super important, always. In fact, my own design that I use on YouTube and everywhere, really, is also a flag. Behind me is actually just a green screen. It's a bad green screen, but it's a green screen. But you can see, obviously, the white dragon on a red background is the... Not so much flag, because it wasn't really used as a flag, but it was an emblem very much associated with the Anglo-Saxons before William the Bastard conquered England. And I like to use that as my logo. And yeah, those flags are pretty cool, and I like the look of them, and that's why it's mine now, because it's cool. It's a flag. But yeah, flags are cool. In the Victorian era, what counts as the flag of a country was a bit vague depending on who you were asking. Some countries, like the USA and France, very clearly had a single flag that served as the national flag that everybody knew them by, but others weren't so clear. Look, here's some period examples of what people considered Russia's flag to be. So we have a lot of different flags here. Coat of arms of the Romanovs. We've got something that looks suspiciously like Britain's flag. You got Scotland in reverse. The modern Russian flag. That's a ladybird? Or a spider? Or something? That's just... Sure. My new favourite flag. That's Venice. I was going to say, that looks like Venice, but that is totally Venice. And then Austria there as well. And a selection from Pavillons et Concardes des Principales Puissances du Globe d'après des Documents Officiels. Nailed it. 1850 is seen as the David Rumsey map collection. So we've got more Russian stuff. Pavilion Imperial, that could go on a yacht. That could go on your Guer. That will go on your Marchand. The campaign of American Russia, sure, Alaska, I guess. And then the demand, that's when you demand shit from pilots. So, the flags for every occasion. How would you represent that in a game? Well, you kind of can't, right? You kind of can't. Let's have a look. First thing that's noticeable is that it's not just one flag. The tricolour that's used as the Russian Federation flag now was just one of several in use in the 19th century up until the 1850s, as a merchant flag or civil ensign used to identify civilian ships in foreign ports. The Romanov dynasty's emblem is also used as a Russian flag, and then there's two naval jacks, the flag with the blue saltires or diagonal crosses stretching across them, which are also widely recognised. Eventually, the Russian government started trying to consolidate everything and issued a decree on the 23rd of June, this one was written by an American, 23rd of June, 1858, proclaiming a single state flag, a black, gold, and white tricolour, which is this one that you can see here. In 1883, the white, blue, red merchant flag was officially accepted as the national flag to be used on special occasions, and in 1896, it wholly replaced the black, gold, white tricolour as Russia's state flag. Interesting. Alright then. Ain't that a doozy of flags to pick from? How are we supposed to pick which ones to use in Victoria 3? Well, good news. We can use more than one flag. Fantastic. We have dynamic flags triggered by script. On the surface, this sounds like, oh, this is nothing new. We have that in Victoria 2 as well, but it's more than just ideology change, I guess, that is going to be changing flags in Victoria 3. In Victoria 2, it was just, governmental ideology change, usually forced by rebels, The Republican British flag there was absolute trash as well, wasn't it? Anyway, but yeah, no, this is interesting. So we've got 4 different flags for Russia. We've got, I would guess, monarchy. Well, I mean, I don't know, because this was also the monarchy. Who knows? Let's have a look. Any trigger which is valid for a country, like checking if a specific state is owned by a player or its war is happening, can be used to trigger a different flag in the game. We use that to spice up flag varieties in different situations. For example, a united Scandinavian monarchy has a different flag depending on whether the Danes are in charge or not. Fantastic. That's actually pretty dope. Also, if a specific state is owned by the player specific, so the AI won't in this specific case, whatever this case is, or if a war is happening, we can change from peacetime versions of flags to wartime versions of flags, because that's pretty dope. I know very specifically the Swedish had a different flag for their wartime. Their wartime flag was different from their regular flag. So that's pretty damn cool. I like the idea of, we've got a war happening, therefore new flag. So you can tell instantly that, yeah, I'm at war because, hey, look, we got a new flag. And then the peace is signed, flag goes back to being your peacetime flag. That is dope as all hell. I love it. Spicy indeed. And that's on top of just using the usual checks like governments, the number of states in a country, and so forth. And yes, you probably want to see the stars in the American flag, don't you? I know I do. They do change on the number of states in the Union. So you got lots of different flags. I'm not going to count the amount of doodly boppers we've got here. This one's got 24 states, but I'm not counting these. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really cool that you got different amounts of different flags. Like, how many? Do we get an individual extra flag depending on each state you add? Because there is a big difference between, 24 and however fuck the many this is. I'm obviously not counting that either. But there's a big difference. So is there an individual flag added for every individual state that you add? That'd be dope. That's a hell of a lot of work, but that would be dope as hell. That's kind of cool. There's even some unique flags for when one country becomes the puppet of another. In some cases, a generic, "oh no, I'm a puppet now" design is used for the puppeted country's flag, with a master country's flag inserted as a canton, so that's the thing in the top left, design used for the puppeted country's flag. The master flag is canton in the upper left corner of the puppeted country's flag, while in other cases a wholly unique flag is made for a particular combination of puppeteer and puppet. So I imagine this is Texas if it's owned by Mexico, or Mexico if it's owned by Texas, or Mexico if it's owned by the USA, something like that. Because this is puppet, and this must be puppeteer. So I think... No. I think they're both puppets. Right? So this must be Texas if it's owned by the USA, owned by Mexico. That's what I'm thinking this is. Yeah, no, I'm sold. That's what that is. And this is, well, that's Spain's emblem because that's Leon and that's Castile. So something Spanish now owned by Britain. Potentially some colonies. Potentially the Philippines. Gibraltar? I don't know. Interesting. Or maybe it's just Spain in general. Who knows? There's also a sort of fallback system to provide flags for every polity, even if we can't really settle on one particular design, or if they're feisty dynamic rebels or what have you. Flags can be randomly generated with particular triggers set, so some flag elements do only appear if a tag is of a particular culture or religion or ideology, among other things. So that's pretty dope. Random flags.png. Okay, so we can't really tell what they're all about. The American Air Force has rebelled. Some Sunnis have rebelled, maybe. I don't know. Someone's rebelled. I don't know. But yeah, no, that's dope as hell as well. And for the modders out there, it shouldn't be difficult for you folks to put together more flags if you want, and of course, if you want to make more flags, right? We use a system similar to the one used in CK3 for its coat of arms. France's default flag is a simple example of how the system works. So France has got a color 1, color 2, and a color 3. Oh, there's emblem 1 and 2, okay, and then you've got different textures that you can add via DDS files, okay. Yeah, no, that's pretty dope. All flags in EU4, I know, are DDS files as well, though I have no idea what it stands for. All that's going on there is that a plain blue field is set as the background, and then a single graphical element with the central third and right third of the tricolour as colourable sections is slapped on top, with white and red respectively added in there to make a nice and tidy blue, white, red tricolour. Magnifique! So I guess for me, I could have colour 1 would be red, and then coloured emblem, texture equals dragon symbol, and then color 1 white, and then I would have my flag in the game, which would be heftily dope. Don't know what country I would use it for, but it's totally doable, right? And to plug that bad boy in the game, all you need is a little scripting in order in another file that goes something like this. Stuff modders could do this, like. I'm done. Like, I figured this out. If you're a modder, feel free to pause the video and read. You can create as many flag definitions as you like, and you can plug the same flag design into multiple definitions or make a unique one for every definition if you want to go insane and scripting it all up. Triggers are straightforward to plug in, and you can script generic triggers if you don't want to write that same combination of checks over and over again. If you want to mod flags, there is a delightful amount of flexibility with this system. It is also a little bit more intense, right? Because this system requires an awful lot more effort than, here is my flags file, and I'm going to just put a PNG image of my flag, and then tag equals the name of that file, or something like that. Or tag X flag equals that name. Right, this is a lot more in-depth and a lot more work for modders to add a lot of flags in. So there you've got it. We got flags, we've got lots of flags, we've got randomized combinations of flags that go on for days. You could script more flags if you really want to poke at the game's innards. Flags. Now, as we march towards the holiday season, Dev Diaries are taking a bit of a break, unfortunately. Back in January with a brand new topic in the first Dev Diary 2022. It's a shame that we don't know what it's going to be, but I guess so, alright. Fantastic. You know, flags are awesome. And, of course, happy holidays and happy new year as well, of course. And it's nice to see that they are so in-depth with their flags, right? There's a lot going on. And a lot of customizability with it. That is really, really cool to see. I am very, very happy with it. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you agree, and do you like the flags? Are you happy that you're seeing so much customizability? Are you a modder, and am I right in that this is a bit more in-depth and difficult to achieve than simply putting a PNG in a file or in a folder somewhere? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And also, what's your favorite flag? What's your favorite flag in the world today? Tell me what your favorite flag is. If I was to say, I would probably go with something like... I probably should have thought about this before we started. I'd say Georgia. Georgia has a real nice flag. I quite like Georgia's flag. Canada's is also pretty dope. Not gonna lie, I quite like Canada's flag. But yeah, but let me know in the comment section below what your favorite flag is, and I will see you for the developers' reactions to the comments on this Dev Diary in a couple of days. Until next time, thanks all for watching, and bye-bye.